5. I hope you're all doing very well and you are getting on well with your pirate themed packs that we've sent out to you. We've really enjoyed seeing the work that you've been sending back to us, so keep it coming. So following on from Miss McNamara's lovely SPaG lesson last week, we are going to continue that theme and we're going to SPaG it up in year 5 and we're going to become SPaG experts. So this week we're going to be looking at apostrophes. Now there are 2 ways that we use apostrophes, but we're going to look at the first way today, which is apostrophes for contraction and omission. So before we move on to apostrophes, we're going to get our SPaG brains warmed up with a little starter activity. We've got a range of incorrect sentences. We've got spot mistakes. So we'll do the first one together. So, Captain Blackbeard made Miss Hall, who felt scared, walk the plank. So we'll look at the beginning. So Captain, brilliant. Capital letter because it's the start of a sentence. Blackbeard, Captain Blackbeard. Now that looks like a name to me, and we know that names are proper nouns. So we need to change the B to a capital. Captain Blackbeard made Miss Hall. Again, Miss Hall is a name, it's a proper noun, so we need a capital M, Miss Hall, who felt scared. Now, what do we notice about this part? That looks to me like a relative pronoun and a relative clause, so it's been added. So we need to put a comma to separate that relative clause from the rest of the sentence. Captain Blackbeard made Miss Hall, who felt scared, walk the plank. Oh, we've got a question mark there. It doesn't sound like a question to me, so I think we'll cross that out and we'll put a full stop instead. So we've done the first one together. So pause the video, so you've got this up on the screen, and see if you can do the second 2 on your own independently, and then you can join me in just a moment and we'll go through the answers together. Let's see how we got on. So, looking at the second sentence, although Pirate Price, brilliant, we're starting off with a capital letter, that's great. Pirate Price, now that is a name, Pirate Price, that is what she is known as, Pirate Price. Therefore it's a proper noun, so we need to put a capital P for pirate and P for price. Although Pirate Price suffered from seasickness. Now, this C doesn't look right to me. This is the sea seeing with your eyes. This is referring to sea sickness, like the ocean. So we need to change that spelling to sea sickness. Although Pirate Price suffered from sea sickness, now we need a comma here because this is a subordinate clause. So we need to separate that subordinate clause. Although Pirate Price suffered from seasickness, she still boarded the boat. Brilliant. And we've got a full stop there. Last sentence. Pirate Rollins. Again, not only because it's at the beginning of a sentence, but because it's part of a name, and that's a proper noun, we need capital letters. So capital P, capital R, Pirate Rollins Parrot. Now, this parrot belongs to Pirate Roland. So we need to use an apostrophe here to show possession. Pirate Roland's parrot repeated back to him, "Where's the treasure?" So repeated, this is a synonym for said, so we know that we're going to have some direct speech here. So Pirate Roland's parrot repeated back to him, comma, inverted commas, capital letter, "Where's the treasure?" Now, where's, we've noticed actually, these are going to link to our topic today, looking at apostrophes for omission and contraction. This is being contracted from where is. So where is the treasure? Now we've omitted the letter I, so in its place we need to put our apostrophe. Where's the treasure? Again, that's a question. So we need to correct that by putting a question mark and then close it with our inverted commas. Okay, so let's get on to apostrophe. So very quick recap. What is an apostrophe for contraction omission? So as I said already in that last sentence in our starter, it's when we are contracting 2 words together. And when we do that, we get rid of a particular letter. We omit a letter, which is where omission comes from. And omit means to take away. So we squeeze together, we contract would not, which makes wouldn't. And as you can see, we've got rid of the O, we've omitted the O, so we need to put an apostrophe in its place. So would not becomes wouldn't. And that is an example of apostrophes for contraction and omission. First activity, we've got 3 sentences here. Let's do the first one together. Unsurprisingly, the clumsy pirate could not swim. So I'm going to underline the words could not. And what I want you to do is I want you to contract them, okay? So could not becomes couldn't. So we've contracted those words together, but as you can see, I've got rid of the O. And so what do we need to put in place of the letters that we get rid of? We need to put our apostrophe in that same place. So the O is between the N and the T, so the apostrophe needs to go between the N and the T. So could not becomes couldn't. Unsurprisingly, the clumsy pirate couldn't swim. Now I want you to do the same thing for sentence number 2 and number 3. Okay, brilliant, well done, keep it up, you're doing brilliantly. So we're going to do another activity, similar, but this time we're going to do the opposite. So we're actually going to be changing the contracted word back to its original form. So we're going to be changing it back to its original 2 words before we squeezed it together as such. So let's do the first one together. We have a map, so it shouldn't be hard to find the treasure. So let's find that word that contains the apostrophe. And the word is shouldn't. So what we need to do now is we need to think, right, shouldn't. What are the original 2 words? What 2 words have been contracted to create the word shouldn't? Should not. So we can change shouldn't to should not. We have a map, so it should not be hard to find the treasure. And sometimes when we do that, it helps when we're writing in a more formal manner, okay? So I want you to now have a go with number 2 and number 3. Number 3, a little bit tricky, it's a challenge, but don't worry, give it a go and we'll go through it in just a moment. Let's go through the answers. They're walking the plank. Oh, brilliant, this relates back to last week with Miss McNamara. There. They are walking the plank. They are walking the plank. Okay, well done. And the last one, you shan't eat until this deck has been scrubbed clean, exclaimed the angry captain. Now this, again, is a really, really tricky one. Shan't. Okay, well we know that we've omitted a letter, O. Shannot, that's not a word, is it? Shannot. So what could it be? You shall not. Brilliant, well done. You shall not eat until this deck has been scrubbed clean, exclaimed the angry captain. Okay, well done year 5, you're doing brilliantly. So we've got one more activity for you to do. So as you can see, I've got a little passage here. Let's have a read through it. The angry pirates couldn't understand why it was so hard to find the treasure. They hadn't eaten for days and they were all getting rather grumpy. If you didn't lose the map, we would have found it by now, yelled an angry pirate. I shan't listen to you when you talk to me like that, Pirate Paul replied. So, what do you think I'm going to ask you to do? Yep, that's right. I want you to underline all of the words that contain apostrophes for contraction and omission, and I want you to change them back to their extended 2-word form, okay? We'll do the first one together, but that's it, then you're on your own. So, the angry pirates couldn't. I see the apostrophe, so I'm going to underline it. Couldn't, could not. So, the original 2 words before contraction was could not. Now I want you to go through the rest of the passage and do just that by yourselves. And then again, you can join me and we'll go through it all together and see how you got on. Good luck. Okay, let's see how you got on. So, the angry pirates couldn't understand why it was so hard to find the treasure. They hadn't, underline it, hadn't, had not. Had not. They had not eaten for days and they were all getting rather grumpy. If you didn't, did not, did not. And it's really important that when you're going back to the original form, that you're writing them as two separate words at this point. So if you did not lose the map, we would have, would have. So you can actually see, this is an interesting one as well, because actually the contracted form, you omit those two letters, the H and the A, okay? So would have becomes would have. Found it by now, yelled an angry pirate. I shan't. It's that tricky one again. Remember, you can't say shall not, that doesn't make sense. So what could it be? Shall not. I shall not. I shall not. Listen to you when you talk to me like that, Pirate Hall replied. So that brings us to the end of this little SPaG lesson. You've done brilliantly. I'm hoping that you're all going to come back as SPaG experts. But the most important thing is that you are behaving and that you're keeping well and you're looking after each other. And we look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Bye.